Hello, everybody. Welcome to another OMCI Songwriters Night. I'm uh, I'm joined here with a few incredible songwriters. This is going to be one of our last Songwriters Nights on the Instagram, Facebook platforms, um, which is before we switch over to our other platform that we'll be announcing very soon. So let's jump into this. Let me introduce everybody, and we can start hearing some songs, hearing some tales about how we wrote those songs, and maybe learn a little something about each other, perhaps. First off, I'll go with the old Zoom order here. Sydney, why don't you say hello?
Hi, how's it going? I'm Sydney.
Great job. We're off to a good start so far. Jared,
Hi, my name is Jared. I release music under the name Lonely, Lownely, and I'm here to perform two songs tonight.
nice, and Kyle.
Hello, I am Kyle Morris. I do the thing with the guitar and the playing and the singing. That's the thing I do. Uh, I have an album.
You're in good company.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah. I have an album. I perform as frequent as I can, and yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Sweet. And last but not least, Madison.
Hello, I'm Madison Mueller, and I'm a singer songwriter, so I'm in the right place tonight. I'm really excited to play a couple songs. It's going to be fun. I'm in very good company tonight, so this is going to be a great show.
Wonderful. Well, usually when I host these, we kind of just get going right off the bat. The people came to hear some music. Let's hear some music. Sydney, why don't you hit us with a song?
Sure. This is a song I just released a few days ago, so please listen to it. It's called Where the Wind Blows. Where the wind blows, it blows through all the windows and grabs at your curly brown hair. Where the wind blows, it don't need to be swallowed by anything but the clear air. But we are not the wind. Where the boats row, they row across all the rivers and crash through the salted shores. Where they all go, no one really seems to know. We say they all float to the core, but we are no such thing. I have waited too long for something that will never change. Seems there's a storm rolling over here with a cloud full of rage. Have I dreamed too much? Long for this touch that somehow I maybe gone mad. Have I drifted away? Thoughts gone astray. Too long for my mind to come back. Have I sunk to the core, never to return to shore? This illusion seems too hard to grasp. Where the wind blows, it blows across all the rivers to the porch of a wooden fenced house. Where the sky snows and I'm always alone. Nothing is ever too loud. But we are not the wind.
Everybody
Thank
virtually
you.
clap. There we go. The round of applause.
The
That's
silent
great. Is
applause.
that brand new?
No, I wrote it back in high school. Actually, it was like my last year of high school, and we were actually doing our graduation ceremony. And my friend Luke, when he was asked what he was gonna do next, he said, "Oh, I'm just gonna go wherever the wind takes me." And so I kind of wrote a song based off that. I actually have no idea where he is right now. Hope he's good.
That's a hilarious ending to that story.
Yeah.
Awesome. I have a couple questions that I'm going to ask you, but I want to hear a couple more songs first, and then I'll maybe ask you guys as a group as we go here.
Sure.
So, Jared, why don't you show us a little something something?
Totally. So when I was thinking about what I wanted to do tonight, I was thinking about doing 2 new songs or something like that, but I figured it might be a cool contrast if I performed like one of the first songs I ever wrote, and then later in the night I'll perform one of my newer songs. And it's also a nice contrast because the older one is a more sad one and the newer one's a more happy one. So this is one of the first songs I ever wrote. It's called Wandering. I hope you enjoy. I was wandering down the back streets of this old forgotten town. I was wondering if my life could get any more down. I was wandering through the back streets of this old brain, trying to figure out if I got more than I gave. I gave my life to you, and you threw it away. So I gave my love to you. Now my life's in disarray. What didn't I do to keep you in my arms? Why would you still go? It caught me off guard. But I wasn't good enough, and my brain still hates me for it. I was thinking to myself one cold, lonesome day of the good times that we shared and the love along the way. I was thinking of the way that you looked on that day when everything changed. 'Cause I gave my love to you. All you did was ignore it. So I gave my life to you, and you gave me nothing for it. What didn't I do to keep you in my arms? Why would you still go? It caught me off guard. 'Cause I gave my life to you, and you threw it away. So I gave my love to you. Now my life's in disarray. What didn't I do to keep you in my arms? Why would you still go? It caught me off guard. 'Cause I gave my... Oh, sorry. But I wasn't enough. And my brain still hates me for it.
It was worth the ending. It was worth it. Nice.
Thank you.
This guy's had his heart broken. Dang. That was a sad one. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to the happy one.
All right, yeah, I'll try to lighten the mood later on. Glad you enjoyed it, though.
Yeah, that was great. I like this theme that we're kind of coming up with here of new songs. I feel like it might not go this smoothly all the way through, but there's 2 songs where they're early written, so that's cool.
Totally.
Kyle, when did you write your song that you're gonna write or that you're gonna sing?
Oh yeah. So this song, very similar to Sydney, I wrote it when I was graduating high school. I kind of got forced into writing it though, to be honest. Basically, all of my classmates were like, "Well, yeah, well you sing, so you should like totally write a graduation song for us." And I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, okay, so you're gonna do that. Okay, bye." And then I was like, "Oh, well, I guess I'm gonna write this song for graduation and perform it." And I remember I was like stumped on it for like months. I didn't know what to write. I was like, I don't know. What do you say? You're like, thank God for graduation. Like that's lame. That's like not. I don't know. It's like
Madison
it's
was into it. You should have written
yeah.
that song.
It was pretty
Yeah,
catchy.
it's a. I guess it's a future bop I can write later. But uh, so the idea came to me of like like lots of people were planning to go to university. There was a few guys that were gonna stay around town, do some trades work and stuff like that. Some people were gonna be moving out of the province, including myself actually. So it was I felt for me the song I wanted to write was like at the end of this, like I mean you cherish what you can, and but you don't know what comes next, right? Like and I think the biggest thing was like I didn't want to say that I had all the answers of what was going to happen, and like honestly I still don't. If you would have told me that I'm living in Ontario when I was in high school, I would have been like, what? No, I'm gonna live like close by, like to where my family is out west, and it will be perfectly fine. And you don't know. So anyways, this is from my album. It's called With Life You'll Never Know, which is also the title of the album. So shameless plug. But yeah, hope you enjoy. The people we meet, the things we seek go by. Fields for miles, blue skies and city lights. The chances we take, the mistakes we make, we try. And the moments that shine, we live for, we strive. Days for fun, spirits young, battles to face and overcome. Friends in love will come and go, with life you'll never know. Feel inclined to truly find happiness and give it your all, stand tall and never do less. The memories we share and the ones we care about comes from the heart and the home that we couldn't live without. Days for fun and spirits young, battles to face and overcome. Friends in love will come and go, with life you'll never know. With life you'll never know. Don't change a thing, just be who you are. And judgments made only fade away scars. And be the one who reaches to the stars. And you will see to face and overcome. Friends and love will come and go. With life you'll never know. Days to find and spirits young. Battles to face and overcome. Friends and love will come and go. With life you'll never
Just a big flex at the end. Beautiful, Kyle.
Thanks.
That was great. So we got a high school song, a first song I've ever written or I ever wrote, another high school song. Madison, are you gonna break this streak?
No. I'm gonna do a high school song. This one, coincidentally, I wasn't asked to write it, I just decided to, because graduation was happening very soon, and I was having a crisis about it in my brain, as you do. That's normally when I write my music, it's about crises of the brain. Oh. Either way, it was just a lot of like looking back on just life and how quickly you grow up, and that tends to be a thing in my songs. I don't like growing up, and I like reliving the past. I like nostalgia. It's probably not the greatest thing, but it makes for good songs. So this is my song Bloom, about the tree across the road from my old house. I'm not quite old enough to vote, but I'm allowed to drive a boat. Not quite young enough to fake asleep. On the couch, but wake up in my sheets. I notice now, days are way too fast. As a kid, they would never pass. I can see my memories begin to repeat in a new life, but it's not me.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Madison.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Those are all strong, strong opening numbers here. That's great. I think whenever I do these songwriters nights, there's always this like theme that just like presents itself, and I don't prepare for it ever. But I like this like the theme of having these like very early songs, whether that be like early in high school or early as in like in your songwriting careers. So I guess like I'll ask you guys all kind of a question. We can discuss it a bit. How do you feel singing old songs? Is it something that you feel like you have to be in the headspace that you wrote them for? Do you bring new meaning to them? Is it something that you think about, or does it affect the way you sing it when you perform it? These are all kind of like the broad general questions I'll throw at you guys, and we can discuss it. But why don't we kind of go in the same order that we started with Sydney, and then we can kind of
Sure.
all open up our mics.
Yeah, I definitely think there's like kind of a curse for like your early songs where you get sick of them um a little easily. I try to like switch it up a bit. I changed the key for Where the Wind Blows maybe a year or two ago from what I originally played it as because I thought I could do more vocally if I put it up a whole step. So I don't know. There's little things you can
Had your
do.
voice actually changed, or were you just kind of getting bored?
I think my voice was actually higher in high school. I think that makes more sense, right? I don't think it would be deeper. But yeah, I think I just became a stronger vocalist maybe, and there were things that I could try that I knew I would be able to pull off as opposed
Yeah,
to
that
just
makes sense.
yelling. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, the physical limitations of being younger definitely like limits melody sometimes and limits like
Definitely.
capable like skills and stuff. Jared, how does it kind of affect you?
Yeah, for me, it's a really interesting thing because my style of songwriting and the style of music that I perform and release has changed so much. Like now, the songs that I put out and release are like lo-fi music, right? So like a mixture between kind of lo-fi bedroom pop and lo-fi hip hop. So it's like very different than like an acoustic singer song, sort of typical singer songwriter guitar song. I think I do like playing old songs because it reminds me of like where I've come from, right? It helps me put in perspective like where I was and like how things have changed from then, and it also helps me recognize like my songwriting because sometimes you can write new songs and then you won't be super happy with it, and then if you go back and listen or play some of your older songs, it
You're
it's kind of
like, damn, I'm
reassuring.
so good
Yeah,
compared to that guy.
exactly. It's kind of reassuring because you've actually progressed and you've gotten somewhere. So I like playing old songs. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, seeing that progression is huge. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's why a lot of songwriters, don't want to sing those old songs, is because just the skill level
Yeah.
has increased at that point. It's the
Totally.
yeah. Kyle, what are your thoughts?
Oh man. I oh it's, I kind of agree with Sydney where sometimes it's a curse of like some people really like to hear a lot of like the stuff that you've played before. For example, my family, especially my grandmother, loved this song that I wrote called "Stay with Me" that I wrote when I was like 16, and it's to me it's like a good song, but I tend to not like it as much now because I think the stuff that I've written now was like lyrically and musically I think better, but there's just something magical I think about the simplicity of "Stay with Me" that I understand why people like it. For me though, I think it's important to kind of keep every song that you've written kind of under your hat because you never know when you feel inspired to sing it. I find now with some of the older stuff that I've written, it might be more simplistic, but that gives me a little bit more room to kind of uh, flex what I can do melodically with it. And I think that that's like a really cool idea. Like, I mean, I grew up with a lot of influences from like watching live performances and stuff like that. And I noticed that a lot of the people who have like their one hit singles or whatever and they perform it live, they do stuff in the during the live performance to switch it up to make it really interesting. And I find that that's like really I'm like a great idea to keep it kind of interesting for them, not only to sing but also for I think for others to hear, right? Like I think there's something
Yeah.
magical about like you're hearing a song that you know and you recognize really well, and then they just change it up in parts slightly, and it throws you off, and it always keeps you like, I never thought that that song would sound this way.
Yeah, recontextualizes it for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love there's a performance I saw from Feist back in like high school where she did like she'd blown up, you know, like years previously with
Mm-hmm.
1 2 3 4 in that Apple commercial. Um and when I saw her live, I was preparing myself to be a little disappointed in hearing, you know, like a cut for cut remake of the song. And thankfully, she is the artist that she is, and absolutely just like crushed these like crazy vocal looped, like ambient vocal things with like all these like glitching, chopping stuff. And halfway through the song, you're like, oh, this is that song that I know really well that I don't know very well at all anymore. And it's like hearing it again for the first time is kind of like a surprise and a pleasant surprise at times for sure. Keeping it fresh for her probably as well.
Mm-hmm.
Madison,
Absolutely.
what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I agree with a lot of different like aspects of what everyone kind of said. Like I said about my song when I like was introducing it, I'm a big fan of nostalgia. I like going back to moments in life, and it's really cool being songwriters that we get to like literally revisit those emotionally, how we would have written about it, because me now would not have written near the same, like, at all, thinking about it. Not even just like technique wise and that sort of thing, just from that perspective. It's very different now, and that's really cool to look back on. And I think that's really special about seeing your progression over time. That being said, I do have a lot of songs that I don't really care to play anymore because they're not as good as stuff that I'm writing now, but it's still really cool to see that sort of simplicity and that innocence of sorts when I was writing songs at 15, and my 15-year-old problems were just catastrophic at the time. So
Yeah, of course. So
yeah,
dramatic.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's pretty interesting to see that compared to now. So I like revisiting.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we did talk a lot about the technical side, but the emotional like state that you were in is kind of like an interesting one to deal with, especially with older songs. When yeah, like not only were your emotions different, like the way that you emoted was probably a lot different too.
Mhm.
Yeah, if anybody else has any thoughts on that, just open up your mic. We can kind of all discuss this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh my gosh. But like my earlier songs, I was writing about like what am I gonna do with my life, that sort of thing, and like sometimes heartbreak. But nowadays, it's like my mom pointed out. She was like, half of the songs you've written in the past year are about death. Like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm getting older, mom. I
Yeah,
don't know what else to write about.
you're reaching the peak.
Yeah, I think for me also, like my older songs, a lot of it was like I wouldn't say fabricated, but it was hyperbolic in nature because there was just like you haven't experienced a ton of different emotions and stuff like that, right? Your view is limited. Whereas in my newer stuff, I not only like have better songwriting techniques, but I have more stories to tell. I have better ways to tell them, and I think that's been a big influence on my newer songs too, where it's like also in the scene that I'm in. It's like a very emotional scene, whether that's happy or sad. Like it has these big ebbs and flows, and I think my newer songs are better because of that.
Yeah, that's a huge point too. I think is like the younger songs. I think everybody can probably relate to this. Where like yeah, like I remember being like 16 and writing songs, and like I didn't, I'd never kissed a girl or whatever, you know. And I'm like writing these songs about heartbreak or what I imagined it to feel like or whatever, and
Exactly.
like growing up and moving on or whatever, and it being like I'm like yeah, I'm like 14 years old. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I've heard other people talk about it, so I kind of know. So yeah, like
Hmm.
as you gain that experience, your songwriting definitely like is kind of altered, for sure. Um, Anybody else have any thoughts?
Uh, yeah, I think that's a good point. Of like when I look back at some of the older songs I've written, I find that a lot of the stuff that I did then, I've learned so much about. Kind of, it reflects on the work that I do now. Like for example, I always thought kind of songwriting, especially musically, was just you have chords to get your lyrics out. It's a means to an end of getting the story told across some type of medium, right? But through just like learning more about music and listening to a lot more of like different genres and stuff of music, you can see how the storytelling can change depending on what type of genre or how you're using the music to influence and help express the story more. And for me, that's
Yeah.
been like the most interesting detail that I never thought of when I was 15 or 16. I played C and G because I knew how to play them and they were easy chords, but that's not necessarily the like
They have like a limited emotional vocabulary sometimes.
exactly right. And for me now looking back on it, it's like it's like I still like them. I think that they're cool and they're simplistic, but I also find that now it's like, man, there's just like a lot more that you can do to like express like emotion. Like if your lyric is something about like, I'm on a downward spiral or something like that, and actually writing the music to correlate with that word. I can't remember, there's a word that describes that, but it's just like, oh, it's like, it's really cool. Like it tells the story in a way that's not just like, I'm telling you I'm going downward in a spiral. It's actually, the music is also representing what that feeling is. And I think that
Yeah.
that's just such a cool way to look about it. So
Yeah, it's also like just feels more intentional as well. Like both the
absolutely.
songwriting and the other stuff. Jared, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say something sort of along that same line of like making the music correspond to the lyrics. I think that's huge. Something that I've had a lot of fun doing in some of the songs that I make, two songs in particular, but more like on the way, is using like clips or stuff from old movies. And it's kind of because I make lo-fi music, like the kind of vinyl sound doesn't really impede at all. But just using like other forms of media to help tell your story is just a really cool thing to do. To put in your songs, I think.
Totally. And like you probably didn't think like that sampling was ever gonna be a part of your songwriting technique when you first started
No,
writing songs. So
100%
yeah,
not.
yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely changes it up for sure. It's one of those new technique things.
Hmm.
All right, well, why are we talking a lot about music? Why don't we play some music? Sydney, hit us with a new track.
Yeah.
Or like hit us with a new track. Maybe it's not new, but you know.
Well, this one's actually an interesting song because I wrote it probably 2.5 years ago, but I just wasn't happy with the lyrics for a really long time, so I stopped playing it. And then I forgot how to play it, and my mom brought it up like maybe a couple months ago. She's like, "Why don't you play that one song anymore? Like, what happened?" I was like, "Oh man." So I decided to relearn it and then sort of refurbish the lyrics a little to make them more relevant to the meaning of the song. So yeah, this one's called The Old Arcade. Woke up a later time this morning. Open my eyes, new sacrifices. I never listened to their warnings. I don't mind, it's like rolling dice. There was blood on the pavement. I looked up and she said, "Careful who you trust these days, my dear." And I give them anything to stop all these feelings. That living here won't get me very far. the chance that never came forth. They ain't happy, so they just lie. There was blood on the pavement. I looked up and she said, "Be careful who you trust these days, my dear." Then I give them anything to stop all these feelings. But living here won't get me very far. And I'm feeling weak. This life never seems to go as planned. I'm stuck living the words of my old man. The bigger man want you to feel this way. I don't even recognize this town. The old water park is all torn down. I must have blinked again and missed it. And I'm feeling weak. Yeah. Take me back to that place. The old water park's torn down, and I'm feeling weak.
Nice. So you said you rewrote the lyrics?
Yeah, a little bit.
Same chords?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nice. That's cool. That's cool.
Very basic chords, but
Yeah, I think I got a question for you, but we'll play through all these songs and we'll discuss afterwards. Jared, you're up.
All right. So my guitar shrunk for this song. This is I'm sorry, that was
Brutal
terrible.
joke.
Yeah, he's off to a great start. So yeah, this is a newer song I wrote. It was on my EP that came out last month, May. So a little over a month now. But it's not, speaking of like getting better at songwriting, in all honesty, I don't really feel like this is a super wow song in terms of lyrics or anything like that. It's just cute, and that's honestly what I was going for. That's what it's meant to be, so I'm fine with it. But it's just a nice, cute little love song about kind of that like girl across the room in school that you want to talk to but can't really get up the courage to do it. So this is called Love Letter.
Sketch your name down next to mine as I daydream sad, watching the world go by again. Hoping they'll notice me today. I've been looking at you from across the room, thinking about all the things that we could do. If you ever looked at me, if you gave me a chance, yeah, you'd see that I just wanna date you, not break you or fake you. I just wanna see you, the real you, not this you. This you that plays pretend to be cool at this school. You might trick all the rest, but I am not a fool. Sketch your name down next to mine as I daydream sad, watching the world go by again. Hoping they'll notice me today. Think about you every night and every day. I think about you in my dreams. When I am awake, I cannot find the courage to talk to you. Girl, just come on over, it'll be just me and you. Those bright green eyes, yeah, they make me stumble. My words get twisted, they fall and they fumble. My decisions are swayed, yeah, you get me in trouble. I'm going all in, I'll be down or be double. Sketch your name down next to mine as I daydream sad, watching the world go by again. Hoping they'll notice day.
Sweet.
Thank you very much.
Sweet, sweet. All right. Kyle,
Yeah.
you're up.
I'm
I,
up.
I just
Okay.
like banging all these songs out. You know, it's like a factory line here, hits after hits after hits.
It's after hits. Awesome. This is a song I wrote when I was in university. Essentially, I took a songwriting course, and this was, I think, one of the last few songs I had to do for the class. And by the end of it, I was pretty burnt out, but I had a pretty good kind of idea for what I wanted to do. I had this like chord progression that I wrote on my on the piano for like almost a year. I had this like stupid riff in my head, and I was like, I'm gonna make something out of this. I don't know what. And then I kind of got the inspiration when me and my now fiance, we were living together, and basically she was in the kind of the same boat. She was doing school and stuff, and she was really stressed out, and she was just like busy working like constantly. And I basically was just like, this is a song for you to like I know that like life is just crazy and you gotta do what you gotta do, but like you also have to like take time to yourself because that's also important too. So yeah, this one's called Live for Today. Hey, Miss Lady, could you turn around and sit right next to me? You're overstressed day and night, you're missing out on life's mysteries. So come on and let's get down, we'll go out into the town. Let's take a chance and be adventure bound. Gotta balance work with play, have some fun along the way. Don't waste your time, cause every second counts. Live for today, live for today, live for today, live for today. Yo! Ba-da-da, ba-da-da. I know you may be hesitant to go along with this, but if you work too hard, yeah, there's just so much more that you miss. So come on and let's get down, we'll go out into the town. Let's take a chance and be adventure bound. You gotta balance work with play and have some fun along the way. Don't waste your time, cause every second counts. Live for today, live for today, live for today, live for today. We can call up all our friends, go dance till 2 a.m. and eat some creme brulee, serve along the coastal bay, or climb the highest peak and defy gravity. There's so much left in store, what are we waiting for? Live for today, live for today, live for today, live for today. Woo-hoo! Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da. For today, live for today. Oh, now what you say? Live for today, don't wait for tomorrow. No, no, no. Live for today, live for today.
Well, I have a question. The lyric where you go "Zabba-dabba-dee-ba-bo-be-ba-ba-ba-bow," what's that all about there?
Oh, things reflecting life's beauty onto itself.
This guy,
Yeah.
songwriting prowess. That was great. It was
Thanks.
fun. For those of you at home, you probably can't see it, but we were all bopping pretty hard there during that one.
Yeah, I saw Sydney just like
Losing
rocking it.
it.
It
She
was
was
great.
losing it. Madison, you're up.
I don't know how I'm supposed to follow up after that. That was such a jam. Oh, and mine's kind of sad again.
It's okay. It's always a roller coaster.
It really is. Mine's not particularly sad. It's just, we'll say melancholy. That's better, right? This was written during the pandemic. That'll be a coined phrase. See how many times someone says that in the next 60 years. But it was written during the pandemic, and I was having a big lack of motivation and all that fun stuff that we're all dealing with. And I was kind of just wanting to view life a different way, from different eyes, maybe younger eyes, that sort of thing. And I came up with Sweet Bitterness. So I released this about 2 months ago on all platforms. So if you want to check it out, that'd be pretty sick. This is Sweet Bitterness. There is a fire waiting for a spark, but I don't know when it'll catch. And I am unsteady, rocking on my feet, no escape or going back to ignorance and bliss, happiness, simple as it was before all of this. Sweet bitterness, it opened up so much more. I would like to look at life with other eyes, so that I might find new highs that would make me wanna try. I wanna feel alive. I'm kinda reckless, also very anxious, and it's my fatal flaw. Perfection's what I crave, regardless of my skill. It ends up draining me of all the ignorance and bliss, happiness. Got me asking where, when, how we got to all of this bitterness, wishing I could change the now. I would like to
Well done.
Thank
The
you very
lighter
much.
app was brought out. The lighter app was brought out.
It really was. I looked up
maybe
1
not.
second, I was down, and then the next there were just flashlights and lighters on my screen. It was
A
very
ballad.
emotional.
I forgot that there was apps like that. Remember when like the iPhone first came out? There was like apps where the coolest thing was that when you tilted it, the thing moved. Anyways,
So good.
Jared's like, the first iPhone? What are you guys talking about?
I'm not that young. okay?
That was great, you guys. That was awesome. I listening to all these songs is cool, especially because we kind of talked about early stuff versus newer stuff, and Sydney, you and Kyle both kind of had songs where you wrote and then altered them, or wrote and then changed, and that got me thinking about not only how our songwriting changes as as we are grow older or get more experienced, but also how like sometimes there's ideas that we have that are just like don't go anywhere early on, or some maybe that's happening right now, and then later on we can kind of like breathe new life into them, and they're reinvigorated in some way. Does that happen quite often for you guys? We can kind of just open up all our mics here and talk about that. Do you intentionally like? Because for me, I sometimes I will intentionally just write, knowing that it might not be a song, but I might use it later as like a texture, or like the chord progression or something. But I just want to get an idea down. Do you ever write songs and then go, maybe later, or do you
Yeah.
kind of like set it in stone?
So I'd love to talk about this because this is something that I'm going through right now, actually. So when I write, a lot of times it's like I sit down and will write to like music or something. But I also just have a notes app on my phone that whenever I think of a line, I'll just write it down. So I have tons of lyrics, or like it's almost more poetry, right? That I just haven't used yet. But there's this one, I wrote this entire song, and I can't find the music to fit it for the life of me.
That's common.
So,
yeah.
So I have this whole song that I'm like, oh, this is so good. It has like it ebbs and flows really nicely, but I can't figure out how to like what to sing it over. So that's always a struggle as well.
Yeah, I have had that my entire life, the exact same stuff and it actually changed the way I songwrite now, because I don't actually write lyrics first anymore, because I used to exclusively write lyrics, and I just kept facing that barrier of like, I'm not a good enough musician, or like I'm not finding the right chords, or like it's not the right production or whatever. And so now I kind of write the opposite, where I have to have the vibe first and then the lyrics come second. But that's a good point, actually. It will come.
I'm not
Sit
trying to
on
hog
them.
the mic. Sorry, I just
No, that's okay.
I'm sort of half and half. Like half of it is just like write stuff, and then other times I'll find a piece of music and I'll sit down and write to it. A lot of the way I write is actually just like freestyle. Like I'll just kind of freestyle, either rap or sing until like something sounds good, and then expand off of that idea.
Yeah, totally. No, yeah. I do the mumble track thing as well. What were you gonna say? There, guys.
Oh, I was gonna say that I find like currently now in my career, I do find that I start writing the music first, and then I'm like, what lyrics sort of suit this mood. But yeah, I have about 1,000 little verses in my notes app that just are not going anywhere. But sometimes you need like a co-writer too. My friend Madeline, I just brought a song to her and I was like can we do anything with this, because it's like kind of hit a dead end for me, and she really helped me out, and now it's going to be on my EP in September.
Whoa.
So
Awesome. Yeah, that
Yeah.
fresh insight from like an outside perspective is huge. That
Yeah.
happens to me quite a bit too. Do you guys ever experience that, Kyle and Madison?
Oh, yes. All the time, and I get so mad at myself for it too, because I sit down and I start writing a song and I feel like the flow is going so well, and then I hit a dead end and I'm just like, there goes the song, it's gone forever. And sometimes I pick it back up, like the song that I just played, I stole the chord progression from a song that I want to finish writing so bad, and I had that chord progression for the chorus, but it didn't quite fit, so I was like, you know what, just throw it away to the other song, and it ended up working out perfectly. So sometimes you find those puzzle pieces within each other, but it's difficult writing songs sometimes.
Difficult giving it up sometimes. Yeah,
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah, and I don't want to give it up, but it's not happening.
Sometimes new life comes from those little scraps that we throw out for
Yes.
sure. So
Yeah.
Kyle.
There's treasure
Also-
there.
It's hard to remember like riffs too. Like if you find like a really really awesome melody and you try to record it but like you'll forget how to play it or like it just doesn't sound the same after. It's like the worst.
Mhm. Yeah, I 100% agree. I like the idea of that Maximus talked about like you have to kind of you sacrifice one song to make another song better, and I have a hard time with that because I'm a crazy person. I'm like, no, this fits so well, but I'm not using it right now, so I gotta like just take this one element because it's gonna work better in this. And I totally agree with all the statements. Like for me, I flip flop back and forth. It's amazing. I sometimes go on benders of just like writing lyrics, and then sometimes right now I'm in the phase of writing a whole bunch of really cool musical riffs and stuff, and they sound so cool. Yet I can't think of a flippin' thing to write for it, and it drives me crazy. I have like kind of the idea of where it could go, but it's never like a fully formed thing. And that also could be just my perfectionist in me too, is like it has to be something that's like it's like you take one element of this thing that you want to talk about and you have to like spin it a little bit so it's like slightly different, so it's like creatively really cool. And I've struggled with that a lot. So but yeah, one day they'll come. One day the ideas will just be like perfect and they'll snap into place. It's just that the waiting game of it sometimes just drives me crazy.
Yeah, that's a huge part of songwriting. I think is like a big inspiration of mine. Producer Brian Eno always talks about like how inspiration doesn't like strike; you have to show up. And I think that's like something that always helps in my songwriting. Is like if I just like keep sitting down on my computer or keep sitting down at a synth or with a guitar, if I keep doing that, then like eventually it's gonna come. It's not gonna come if I don't do that. I'm not just gonna be like walking one day and then like hear the perfect thing. Maybe, but I have to put myself in that space to like accept that like inspiration or whatever. So yeah, it can take a while though and be frustrating. And I've like cannibalized so many songs because I'm like, well, this isn't going anywhere. I'll just use this progression or this drum beat or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, for
Any
me,
yeah, go ahead, Jared.
yeah, I repurpose a lot of lyrics, and I go through so many beats because like I'm also a producer. Like I produce music for other people and just make beats and like sell them or distribute them or whatever. I make I spend hours a day just making beats, and it takes so long sometimes. It is really just that sitting down because it takes so long for there to just be that one beat that you're like, okay, this I can do something with, because they all sound good, but they don't sound right. It's that subtle difference that like, oh, that's a great beat, but I can't really do anything with it. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
a
not
lot of that
feeling it fully.
process. Yeah.
Totally, totally. Well, guys, it's about that time where we wrap it all up and say goodbye. So thank you guys for joining me. Why don't we really quickly just go around, give your socials, handles, any quick news, because I know there's like releases and all that kind of stuff. So
But- oh, okay. I don't know. You kind of cut out, but
oh, sorry. Give us your social media handle there, and
okay.
any news.
My social media handle on most things is Sydney Riley Music. Pretty easy to find. And I have Where the Wind Blows that is now currently out on all streaming platforms. There's a lyric video for it, and I have a song called In the Weeds coming out next month. Woohoo!
I am on social media. Mainly Instagram is the platform I use at LXWNELY. I'm on all streaming platforms as Lonely LOWNELY. I just replaced the O with an X on Instagram because it was a cleaner handle. I have a song coming out this Friday, actually, called Orange Sunsets and Purple Flowers. The pre-save link for that is in my Instagram bio. And then I have an EP coming out later this month, actually. And I already have 9 songs out, so you can go listen.
Kyle, all you. Give us
All
the
me.
deets.
All right, it's so my Instagram is Kyle Morris _official, and yes, and then my TikTok is just essentially Kyle Morris official. I plan to post a lot more for the summer this year, so Stay tuned for that. I have an album out, so it's my name, Kyle Morris, and the title is With Life You'll Never Know. It's everywhere. Go take a listen. It's a good 45 minutes, like like having the background when you're like doing chores or something. Just yeah, throw it on. I think it's a really fun album, and the songs you heard today are in there too. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Perfect.
My socials either are Madison Mueller. You can find me on all streaming sites that way. Facebook. If you search up Madison Mueller, you're likely to find me there. Or if not, I'm under Maddie Makes Music. I'd like to shamelessly self-promote my single that I released like a month and a half ago. It's the one that I played at the end there, called Sweet Bitterness, and planning to do a music video for it pretty soon. So pretty excited about that. But yeah, check it out.
Awesome. Sweet. My name's Connory. Thank you guys for joining us for the OMCI Songwriters Night. Thank you guys, you four also, for joining me as well. And shout out Julian for producing this live stream. With that, we'll say goodbye. Adios.